Hey everybody, it's Leanne Parsons, and I am the facilitator for the Reverberate Truth Domestic Violence Support Group. Thank you so much for joining me here today. You know, at Reverberate Truth, we talk to people all over the country who have been impacted by domestic violence in some way. There's a common thread running through each of us, and that thread is the feeling of desperation, the feeling of being wounded, the feeling of being scared, betrayed, and trying to decide, do I have what it takes to move forward after I have left my partner that has been abusing me? And so there are a lot of myths surrounding domestic violence. One of those myths has been totally debunked, and I'm going to tell you about it today. The myth is that domestic violence runs in cycles, that every domestic violence perpetrator tends to have the same cycles. Well, we've found that with a lot of studies and a lot of conversations, that is absolutely not true. But there are categories, characteristics, and strategies that most abusers use as they try to maintain control, manipulate, and manage the control in the home. And so we are going to take a little dive today into one of the beautiful tools that we use here at Reverberate Truth to educate not only our survivors, but also the offenders. Oftentimes the offenders are very clueless on how it is they are showing up in the real kind of subtle gray areas that some people would call it regarding domestic violence or relationship violence. And so we're going to talk about that today. And how we're going to do that is we are going to explore the power and control wheel. So this is part of the Duluth method, and at the core of it, the Duluth method is the power and control wheel. And there are 8 different characteristics that have been found to be very predominant within this community of domestic violence. And so we are going to take a little peek at each one of these areas. So grab a piece of paper and a pen and take some notes if you desire to around this topic, or feel free to pause this video and let it soak in a little bit. This is meant to be of service to you. And so the first characteristic and strategy that many domestic violence partners are going to use to really maintain control in the home is this one. This is all about making coercion and threats to you. They are going to carry out threats to do something to hurt you, to threaten to leave you, to maybe threaten to commit suicide to get your attention, to report you to social services or a welfare group. If you have already pressed charges, they may require or force you to drop those charges. Also, they may coerce you and force you into doing illegal activity and participating in illegal things. So that's just one out of the 8 areas. The next one we're going to look at is this one. This is all about using intimidation, making you afraid by maybe throwing looks your way, actions with body language, gestures. Maybe they're smashing things. Maybe they're destroying your property, abusing your pets, or displaying weapons in front of you in order to intimidate and scare you. A third way that domestic violence shows up in homes is this one. This is using emotional abuse. This is going to sound like and look like putting you down, making you feel bad about yourself, calling you names, making you think that you are absolutely crazy, which you're not, playing mind games with you, humiliating you in public and in private, and making you feel guilty for what you think and feel. That would be emotional abuse. Number 4, this one here is using isolation. This is controlling what you do, who you see, who you talk to, what you read, where you go, limiting your outside involvement, perhaps stopping you from participating in community endeavors. It's also using jealousy to justify their actions. So that's number 4, using isolation. Number 5, minimizing, denying, and blaming. Making light of the abuse, not taking your concerns about it seriously. Saying the abuse never happened. Shifting the responsibility for the abusive behavior to you or to somebody or something else. Perhaps they're even saying that you caused it. Number 6, using children. Making you feel guilty about your children. Using the children to relay messages to family, to friends, to you, instead of talking directly to you. Using visitation that you perhaps have to harass you. Threatening to take your children away. A 7th way that domestic violence can show up into homes is this one. Using male privilege. Now, we're predominantly talking today to women who are survivors or victims of domestic violence. So using male privilege, treating you like a servant, making all of the big decisions for your family, acting like master of the castle or king of the hill. And perhaps he is also the one to define the roles in your family or in your household. So the men's and women's roles are defined exclusively by him. And finally, number 8. This is all about using economic abuse. This is going to look like preventing you from getting or keeping a job, making you ask for money, giving you an allowance perhaps, taking all of your money, not letting you know about or have access to the family income. This could be private credit cards, bank accounts that you know nothing about, or keeping you from the records that allow your household to run so you can't see them. So this walks you through the power and control wheel put together by the Duluth Project. Again, the core of this is for the abuser to gain power and control and manipulation and to maintain that within the household. So they imply all of these different strategies and techniques in order to make that happen. And so we're here to say no more. The power and control wheel is not a healthy way to navigate inside of a relationship. And so, just really empowering you ladies to take control of your own well-being here. If you need help or assistance, or you have further questions regarding this topic, please reach out to us at Reverberate Truth at Judy Gill's place. There will be some information directly below this video on how to get in touch with us and continue this conversation. You don't have to stay where you are. If you are in a situation where you are not safe, please reach out right away. If you are in that position where you are ready to move forward and you desire to take the steps that you need to take in order to walk into the next chapter of your life, please reach out to me. Again, I'm Leanne Parsons, the facilitator of Reverberate Truth. Until next time, many blessings and live your truth.